Welcome back, everyone. Today we are diving into one of the Kerala's most mysterious exports. Nope, not banana chips, the Yakshi. She's beautiful, she's terrifying, and she probably smells like jasmine and regret. And for centuries, she's been haunting both palm trees and the male ego. So buckle up, let's meet the OG supernatural influencer, Yakshi, the femme fatale of South Indian folklore. So let's meet our in-house Yakshi, Angela. Tell me,
Mm.
what's new?
What do you mean by in-house yakshi? Are you referring my mood swings? Okay, that's not what makes a yakshi. You need the white sari, you need the fangs, right? You need a little bit of the blood trickling from your mouth, and you need that.
You faint at the sight of blood.
Yeah. So
So
and there's no way I can even be a yakshi even after I'm dead. I'll probably be dying again because I won't be able to be in your blood. Yeah, I'm interested for this episode, and just so people who are listening remember from the last episode, we did promise to bring about a Yakshi episode, and we are like bling it in that manner, yeah?
new things. Last time it was A380 poop. Today we're gonna talk about Yakshi
Yeah.
or femme fatale. So just let's get on with it, right? So now
Yes.
I thought Angela, let me tell you a bit about what the origin stories feels like. Yeah, where are they coming from and what does it say? So now you picture Kerala a few hundred years ago. All the stories is a dark, humid evening, and the guy is walking home at midnight. Now there's a thing which I feel like Yakshi is like almost like you up, you down, and if you respond to it, you're dead. So I think it's a modern generation,
Yeah, I mean, Yakshi is like one of those things which you just constantly listen growing up. The Yakshi is like the ones that your moms are like, oh, eat your food, or the Yakshi will come and eat you, or some stuff like that. It's always a constant. Uh, it's just there when you're always growing up, and it's like after a point, every time you get scared, you're like, oh my God, there's a Yakshi who lives there.
no,
So
it's funny you say that because by the end of the podcast, we'll come across to what Yakshi represents in feminism, and stuff which you said is interesting. It will come in the story. I'm sorry for interrupting. Carry on.
yeah, no, I mean, I didn't know that part. That's interesting to know. I can't wait to get to the end of the episode in that way to get to know about how that turns out. Yeah, so what does this Yakshi come from? How does it happen? Yeah, you got some beats for that?
With a natural segue to the first section, which is not rehearsed at all. Let's get into
I'm
the
reading from the
origin
script.
story. Now, all the stories start with midnight, Kerala, dark, humid, a guy walking home at midnight.
Every time, right? They just do
Every
that
time.
for no reason.
So, every time. And apparently, not one story have I found Yakshi calling the guy. It's always been the guy going behind the Yakshi at
You look
midnight. He
cute.
sees he sees a white sari and he finds it quite normal,
Why,
like
why,
eye
why
to
is
eye,
the teeth so pointy? I love it.
So, her post-death job description is very simple. Lure men, charm them, and then quite literally suck the life out of them. And somehow the society
That
calls her the
sounded
problem.
so wrong. Why would you have to frame it that way?
Okay. But you know what, jokes aside, the Yakshi myth has many layers. She represents what happens when power and beauty collide, and society can't handle it. She's seductive, dangerous, independent, and basically what every patriarchal folklore fears the most. She was that girl before that hashtag ever existed. And the fact that every guy in all Kerala stories seem to ignore obvious red flags, glowing eyes, creepy laugh, blood red lips, says that men's priorities, have then never the best.
Every time you go with the Yakshi story, they're like, "Oh, I met a beautiful girl with red, beautiful eyes." I'm like, "Stop, red? How? What screams beauty about that to you?"
That too
The way
midnight. I mean,
Midnight.
yeah,
Casual glow from her eyes. That is not casual. You see people with glow in their eyes just day to day, just like that.
it is damn weird. And so I had there's a lot of articles on Yakshi in the internet on how the origin was there. I would suggest for people who want to read about that cultural and societal fabrics to look into Babu Ramchandran's video on Yakshi. It's very enlightening. He has done a great job. So there are multiple stories of Yakshi, but my sister, being the intellectual she has gone into Reddit and has come up with a couple of stories for us. So let's listen to that first.
Well, I have to say this. I did go on Reddit and I went into this rabbit hole of Yakshis because the most interesting part is till date, I believe Yakshi was one of those indigenous things to Kerala, right? Like Yakshis is Kerala's, and that's very much only existent in Kerala. But the fact of the matter is, there is Yakshis all through the country. They just know by different names, right? There is Chudail in the north. That's actually just another form of Yakshi. I thought it was a cuss word. Turns out it is just a word that you call one of those witches who drink the blood. All that. There's Yakshas, there's Yakshini. So
Yakshit is the male guy. Male with.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, the male one. So all of this is
does he
just
wear a white sari as well?
I'm not sure if he wears a I think he goes shirtless. He's flaunting those chest
With white
hairs.
dhoti? Oh, at
Yeah.
midnight and the ladies walk by.
I don't think his job is to seduce ladies because no lady is going if they see
If
a
he seduces men,
chested guy. Could be. You don't know nowadays, right? So yeah, I
right?
mean that is how I figured out like okay, this is not just something. It's kind of like all through the country. We have different versions, but I want to start with the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Kathanar. I mean, can you talk about Yakshi without
Use his full name.
Kadamuchatte Kathanar Kathanar?
Put some respect to that name. Yes.
So
Puss.
what I would like to say is it's like you know how you say parota and beef or sambar and vada? It's like that. Kathanar and Yakshi. You can't just have one of them. You need both of them. So what I'm gonna do for those who are not familiar with the Kathanar story to kind of narrate what actually happens in the legend, yeah? Let's begin. So this is happening in Trivandrum or Tiruvananthapuram. Or back then it was known as Tiruvidampur when the royalty ruled the land. On the town of Padmanabhapuram in the south, there was a dense forest with no human habitation in a large area, and there was just one narrow and dark road through it. Once a Yakshi made her home in this jungle and started to terrorize those who traveled through her. Her mode of operation was like this: she would turn herself into a ravishing beauty and stand on the wayside. When a traveler came along, she would approach him with an enchanting smile and ask, "Will you give me a spot of lime for my murkan just for one chew?" Or, in a more casual way in Malayalam, it would be like, "Chunnamundavo," basically for murkan. Is the white stuff you put on the betel leaves, yeah? Once she get it, she would lead the man to the darkest and densest part of the jungle, fascinating him with her sweet talk. Which, in a way, is you must understand. Chunna Munna Murka was such a crazy hookup line. Like, you have no equivalent of that for today. Like,
And I kind
no,
of get it. It is kind of cool. Yeah,
that's hot. Like,
yeah,
what?
yeah. We should bring that back. You know, in
Right?
the
We
days we
should.
started. Chunnamanunda Murkan. The Yakshi energy. I think that's it's kind of cool now.
Right?
I wonder why I didn't add this scene to Loka. You know,
You will have to
it
go
would
with
really
the
worked out.
modern equivalent. You will have tough time figuring that out. No one does Muruka nowadays. So before the unsuspecting victim could realize the situation, She would pounce on him, tear him to pieces, and devour her prey, leaving only their hair and nails.
I thought she drank only blood. So when you say
Uh,
hair and nails, so the poop,
what? What poop? Where did
there
that
is
come
poop.
from?
People
Yeah,
always have poop.
okay. We don't have to have poop in all the episodes. It's just not how this works. I feel like she was not eating hair and nails because they are dead cells already.
Yes. Moving on.
Okay. She killed a large number of people in this manner, and they were terribly frightened to pass that way. The frantic people brought in many well known sorcerers, and they could not subdue her, however they tried. She meanwhile continued her reign of terror. At last, they went to the Kathanar,
Katana.
who lived far away from this place, and related the story of their distress. He went with them and entered the forest alone. Seeing him alone, the Yakshi, in her beautiful form, asked ever so sweetly for the usual line. Smiling at her, he replied, "For sure, gladly." He stretched out to her an iron nail with a line at its tip. At first, she was reluctant to accept it, but eventually she took it. Which is interesting because that's an interesting way to serve a line on an iron
Yeah.
nail. Uh,
There's no leaves.
no,
So
the
it's
leaf is
cutting
with
out on
her.
carbs.
She got the leaf with her, and then he kind of
She's iron deficient.
she doesn't
That's
eat
her
the
name.
nail. She doesn't eat the lime. But I mean, yeah. I mean, you know
She
that the
doesn't eat.
universe.
She doesn't eat her daily prescribed nails and
Yeah.
teeth. This is what happens, guys. All the young yakshis, listen up. Eat your nails and dead teeth
Yeah.
or whatever.
After 30, the deficiency really starts showing up. So
In her case, 30,000 years.
exactly. She was, in fact, mesmerized by him to believe that she took the murkan in her hands, but actually the priest had struck the nail on her head with his powerful magic, and unaware of this, she followed him like a slave. They walked on for a few days and reached Kayangulam. There was a house which belonged to an uncle of his, but only the old widow lived there just then. He entered the house, followed by the Yakshi, disguised as a woman. The old aunt asked him who she was, to which the Katana replied, "Oh, she's my servant maid. Why did you ask?" The old woman said, "I wish I had a young woman like this as a companion to live with me, as I am all alone in this house." The Katana said he had no objection and agreed to leave her there, just like that.
This is the white sari. I
Yeah,
kind of get why Yakshi is synonymous with, I was reading through a lot of stuff and they're always talking about how Yakshi is a symbol of feminism. So let me
Mhm.
man explain to you what that means. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
So
I appreciate it. Yeah, please do.
apparently Yakshi is what people are calling rebellious women, who were
Mm.
everything wrong with women at that point of time. And I was reading through now the fact that Kadamanta the Kathanar just gave away the Yakshi, that
Right?
too putting a nail on her head, that too wearing a white sari. I'm more scared of that old man now than the Yakshi.
Yeah,
Because
it's actually the
he,
old woman. So it's the a woman who's living there. The uncle passed away, so it's his wife that lives in that
right.
house, and she
Oh.
wanted
And the wife
a
is plenty
companion.
scary. Wife is
No,
plenty scary.
I feel like what he kind of missed out kind of a key detail when he exchanged the slave. Like he forgot to explain the deficiencies. Like, like
Take off
uh,
the nail from her head. Do you think like for giving like you remove the nail? Hello?
you don't know. You don't know. You got to listen the rest of it. Come on, yeah.
Okay, fine.
The old woman liked the comely looks of the disguised Yakshi, and calling her into the kitchen, started to cook a meal for all, while the priest went to have his bath. After the meal, he rested for some time and slept off with exhaustion. Meanwhile, both the women became good friends and chatted away. Fondly, the older woman started to comb the luxuriant hair of the young woman when suddenly she exclaimed, "Oh, there is something hard stuck in your head. I felt it while parting your hair. Let me look carefully." And then, "Oh, my dear daughter, it is an iron nail stuck here. What a pity." And saying this, she pulled it out. Okay, so first off, when you see
We'll see.
someone who doesn't notice a giant iron nail stuck inside their skull, I feel the
No,
first is like,
no,
what is wrong with them?
I kind of understand now. She had luxurious mane of hair, so I'm sure like that. I understand. That things happen. It's part of
I,
life.
you're
These
saying
things
that if
happen.
you're combing someone's hair and then you're like, bro, you got like an iron nail done
Yeah.
there? Like, you
Yeah.
just be like, yeah, you miss that? Or would you be like, what the hell is wrong with you? That you didn't notice an iron
Maybe
nail.
small nail,
It's not
smaller
small,
ones.
it's freaking this big and it's like,
All
what
I'm saying
then?
is these things happen. Okay, these things do happen. I know a
Yeah.
friend it happened to. It's just like when you just comb the hair and then you're like, oh, I got iron nail. These things
It's
happen.
not pan when you take the lice out and be like, oh,
So
okay.
she went and got a hammer for it, or she removed it with her hand.
Uh, I'm guessing she would need a hammer because it's an iron nail.
Okay.
Anyways, instantaneously, the Yakshi regained her original form and vanished from sight. Trembling with fear and anxiety, the old woman that approached the priest woke him up and told him what happened. When he heard that she had pulled out the nail, he said, "What a mistake!" And he quickly decided to follow her. Observing a few clues on the way, he understood that she was walking towards the north and he sped fast to reach her.
This is why you do not do good stuff to people. I mean, Kadavanta the Kathanar just thought that he will do a good deed. He just gave her a free companion with a nail
Who
on his
just
head.
turned out to be like a Yakshi, like it was not
Yeah,
even
just
him.
it's not his
Mm.
problem. It's like people do not respect property. So, what are we talking about feminism and Yakshi? Let's get on with it.
Okay, let's move on. So both arrived at the place called Mananam. I think that's wrong. I think it's Mananam. This is in English.
Interesting.
So from afar,
Hmm.
he saw her getting into a boat and being ferried across the stream. When he reached the jetty, the boatman had already reached her at the Panayannar Kaval shore. Since there were no other boat available to cross the stream, and realizing that it would take some time to meet up with her, he uttered a powerful mantra and bound her to that same place so that she would not move from there till he arrived.
Yeah, makes sense.
Damn!
Makes sense.
I right?
He has all those powers, but and also Yakshi can disappear, but she cannot like cross the river. So that she is a boat. And
Yeah,
this guy cannot cross a boat, so he's like, stay there.
he has all the mantras, so like stay there. I'll be right
But
there. Near you.
they don't have the it's like they don't have the complete coding. They are like half.
Yeah, they complete each other in a way, like the yin and the yang, if you think of it.
Makes sense.
When he came to her, he asked her, "Tell me, where are you planning to go? I will not allow you to go free if you promise not to harass the people anymore. I shall permit you to make your abode here. If not, I'll cut you to pieces and fry you in the furnace." Filled with the fear, she answered, "I promise that I will not persecute people anymore. Please, I beg you, do not harm me. Have pity on me and permit me to stay in this place." So the priest got her solemnly, vowed to him, and allowed her to live there. And then onwards, she was invisible to human eyes. But rumor has it that on certain days, like the new moon and Fridays, or at midnight, people have seen a ravishingly beautiful woman at that place, where she is popularly known as the Yakshi of Panayanarkal, or as related to the particular place, she is also called Padumala Yakshi.
Yeah,
So,
it's a good ending. It's a good ending. I mean, there was a nail on her head, but
right.
overall, I think Kalamata the Kutana is a stand-up guy.
Yeah, I mean, good negotiations right done.
Perfect gentleman, just perfect gentleman. Right. First, you tried
Yeah,
to sell her through slavery, but then
right.
And
And I like the fact that he's like, listen, I will not kill you if you don't
he
kill
cut
another
you into
thing.
pieces. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the
And
threat worked. But why is she coming on the Friday and the full? I don't know about that.
I feel like the full moon is kind of, uh, it's more like, it has an ominous feeling, like the gothic feeling. So she's like, yeah, my day. It's my night.
Makes sense.
I'm
Makes
coming.
sense.
So this is like one of those other stories which we find in Kerala. All right. Are you excited? We had a couple of small Kudumbashetram around my place, with the Yakshi being the deity in all of them. My grandmother used to tell me it was the same Yakshi in all those temples, and it moves from one place to another at certain times of the day in a form of a golden yellow light. Those places were chosen long back because there were people who have seen Yakshi most frequently. My house is in between of these two temples, and I can see both the carver from my terrace. One of my childhood friend once told me how he saw a naked lady in the carver one afternoon when he sneaked in to get some fallen ripe mangoes. I really wanted to see a naked lady, but was scared shitless to go there for a long time. Don't know if you're selling tall tales.
Why is he looking for mangoes in midnight?
Right? He
Ripe
doesn't
mangoes
know.
in midnight.
It was an afternoon. He saw the naked lady in the afternoon, his friend.
So
Which
this define what men are like. They're scared about
not
the
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 even in
fact that they
modern
get.
day. They just need Yakshi in their life. That's about it. One evening, I was on my terrace with the new constellation identifying hobby. I saw the shiny golden yellow animal, maybe a mutated Maripati or a wayward Mala Annan, leaping from one tree to another from the direction of one carver to the other. I saw it pretty close, and it was definitely an animal, but with an unnaturally glowing fur. I ran down screaming and ended up at my grandmother, who confirmed in her infinite wisdom that it was the shape shifting Yakshi.
Eh?
So now the naked lady he was expecting. I mean, he got to see an animal. I
Right?
mean,
I
that
mean,
says a lot. I mean, his friend get to see a naked lady, but this guy gets to see a mutated rabbit animal.
yeah, I
God,
mean,
just imagine the
his luck
Yakshi
is
is
hit.
dissing him. Imagine Yakshi is dissing the guy, you know? He has no luck with Yakshis even.
I feel bad. I feel bad for him because he was like, yeah, maybe I too can get one of those naked ones, and then he didn't. Kind of sad
He
for
got a
him.
naked dog instead. So
Not
good
a
for him.
naked dog, like a glowing dog. But yeah,
All
happy
the dogs
he
are
got to
naked.
see something.
All the dogs are naked. So I'm not wrong. Just glowing, which is the add-on.
Right. Now, this is our final and the last story of Yakshis. Okay? The third
Go
is the
for it.
best, save the best for the last, you may say. I don't know if it's the best for the last, but it's a really good one. And this one is not exactly from Kerala, but it's more about a folklore kind of a thing from Mizoram, in fact. Uh, just before reaching the Aizawal near the Konpui town. I hope I'm saying that right. Hopefully I am. The Konpui Day, the Konpui outskirt. All right, so that's if you know about the Konpui Road. I think it was last August. They had one of those. They were severely damaged, and they had a lot of trucks being stopped in the
Oh,
road
yeah.
in the
The
last
bridge,
month.
bridge collapsed?
I don't think
Oh,
it
the bridge
collapsed.
collapsed.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. Like I don't know if it collapsed, but it was severely damaged, and it was a big problem. So this is that
Was it
road.
the Yakshi who did it?
I mean, that would be the more logical reason than
Yes.
anything else. All right.
Absolutely.
There's a British era stretch of road in Mizoram just before reaching Aizawal near Konpui town called Konpui Day. It's infamous for the sheer number of accidents that have occurred there and the ghost stories surrounding it. The road is narrow, steep, and winding, yet locals often prefer it over the national highway, which is usually in poor condition. One of the most tragic accidents on this road happened in the 1980s when the Mizoram State Transport bus carrying students returning home from the plains for Christmas crashed killing over 30 people. A large stone monument now marks the site. The place is super eerie, especially at night. Many drivers, especially those operating buses and sumos, claim to have experienced strange phenomena, like their empty vehicles suddenly feeling heavier, as if unseen passengers have boarded, hearing noises of ghostly
Are they
passengers.
now fat shaming Yakshis? Is that what's happening?
They're
Are
not
they just
yakshis.
framing?
They didn't fat shame.
You're telling
They,
stories about Yakshis, right? So I'm expecting Yakshis to be in the.
I
Was
know,
the
but
car going like, like, know what I mean?
it was like, so basically they're saying like this road is haunted, right? Because there were people dying and all of their ghosts staying. So this explains like how it got to that point. And now the story about this is that he's talking about his friend who was using the road. And even he experienced a similar kind of energy. And his bike started weighing quite heavy, so he can't move forward, right?
Oh,
And that was kind of scary because it's kind of this is not a highway, it's kind of a not in a good condition road. That's it. But people prefer that. So his friend, and I think he was riding his bike one night when he saw a naked woman again standing by the roadside, and feeling sorry for her, he stopped and offered her his jacket. She didn't speak but got on the bike, so he decided to take her to Aizawl. It was October
oh,
when the moon is brightest in Mizoram. As they rode, he glanced at his rearview mirror and apparently he sees the woman's face bloated and decomposed, her tongue hanging out and smiling at him. Panicked, he immediately threw her off the bike. But instead of hearing her fall, he heard no thud, just hysterical laughter and a sound of someone running after his bike, chasing him.
okay, that's scary. That,
He arrived
fucking,
home.
what a fucking gentleman. What a nice person, though.
Yeah, he just threw
What
him
a,
off
what a sweet ass guy. I mean,
the
he gave her his coat, and this is the way Yakshi, repays him. I,
Yeah.
I was all for Yakshi, but this time around, the guy was a
Yeah.
sweet as gentleman.
As I was reading this in the Reddit, I was okay with the top parts. And once I reached the part where the hysterical laughter and chasing behind him on the bike, that was
Scary.
scary. And now when I read it, I got scared again. So I,
Mhm.
yeah, it was a pretty scary story. It's you got
It is
carrots
a bit
behind you.
scary.
You got like
Yeah, actually, I was thinking it's a horrible story. Like you were telling, you saved the best for the last, but I was like, I was all for that. The first story, but I really like the story. It's very nice, especially the last part of the chasing.
yeah,
Damn,
that
man,
was scary. So
kudos to
yeah,
him.
so this is the Yakshis of the India.
Good job,
We have,
Angela.
I mean, we have more stories, but then we don't want to kind of drag every episode. So maybe we'll continue with
Yeah,
another one.
you guys need to tell us how this new format is it working out for you. Give us some love in the comments and give us some likes. Now let's get to the last, absolute last part of it on how pop culture and Yakshi goes hand in hand. This is very interesting. Okay, I was reading about. So Yakshi has been part of folklore for a long period of time. There's the written works on Yakshi. There were so many stories and novels and a lot of variations. But when it comes to film, the pop culture, it started from 1960s, right? So 1968, this film comes out. Okay, it was called very creatively Yakshi. But but this, believe it or not, was not a horror thing. It was more of a psychological horror. So you can imagine the level of film what was happening in Kerala in 1968, to be exact. So it was about a guy who can't tell if his girlfriend is real or not, and whether he's hallucinating or not. I mean, I know I couldn't get a chance to watch the movie, but once I read it, I really want to watch it. I think it's fantastic
Yeah.
that
I mean,
way.
that's like such an interesting way to look at Yakshi, right? Like
Exactly,
everyone
right?
avoids it and he's like embracing it and like whose fault is it? Is it
Yeah, and he
actually
doesn't know
the
if it's
Yakshi?
real or
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
That's very cool.
there's nothing horror, nothing scary about this, but it's just how it is. And then we would think that that will evolve, and but it didn't. 80s and 90s were the golden era of yakshis in Malayalam cinema. So every mansion was haunted with a yakshi who was in a white sari, There was a lot of wind machine, dramatic stuff, always walking in slow motions. Like she was like a fashion show model. I don't know. If Bollywood had item numbers, Malayalam cinema had Yakshi. That's what was actually,
It's still
I
the
think it
same.
makes a lot of thing. Yeah. But I think last couple of years, things have changed. If you notice the latest movie which came out called Loka, it's a reimagining of the concept of Kalyangat and Neeli. Uh, most preferably one of the most famous yakshis of all time. So that was very cool. If you haven't watched Loka, you definitely need to go watch Loka. It's just really nice. The way they've done editing, everything's perfect. Direction, the storyline is all really good. It's really new. It's really fresh. I think that's
Yeah.
about.
And I would also like to just have a quick mention about this movie called Bulbul. It is not a Kerala movie. I think it's a North Indian movie. It's a Hindi movie, and it's on Netflix. And it is basically, I feel it's very similar to the Yakshi that came out in 1986 that you mentioned. Very similar in concept. It's about a gothic horror, and at the end, you kind of start doubting, like the woman who was portrayed as Yakshi, she was forced to be a Yakshi to bring about justice. It's the
Oh
kind of
yeah,
concept.
I heard about this. And even this the film called Three derives some concepts from Yakshi things. I heard about it. It's a good movie. And do you know one of the famous actors from Malayalam who acted as a Yakshi? A lot of people know this name if you watch Malayalam movies.
Divya only.
Yeah, there is. But this guy, he defined gender norms.
Okay.
So I'll be ending this by saying his name. Can I
Sure.
make? I'll give you two guesses. Any guesses?
Give me the two guesses. You want me to guess the guess also?
No, you took too long. It's Mafia Shashi, guys. I'm not kidding. Mafia Shashi has acted in as a Yakshi.
Oh yeah, sure. All right, so that's all for this episode. Hopefully, you guys like it, and we can come up with more new X-ray stories in the next episodes and more of the gory stuff coming up soon.
Actually, Yakshi, we won't be doing the next episode. Will be a little different. I don't think we have more interesting content coming up. Angela is working on a couple of things, so we'll keep you posted, guys. Thank you for bearing with us. This is Merly and Joe signing off. Peace. Like carrots, I cannot lie.
You have wings. It's grass wings. You are sprouting. You have sprouts from your shoulder.